Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Munya. I'm a chartered certified accountant. I am a business coach and I'm a trainer. I'm going to talk about budgeting and some of the excuses that people give for not budgeting. And I always say a lot of people, they come up with excuses for them for not to do a certain thing. So I love to talk about budgeting because I've realized that without budgeting, you cannot save. Without having savings, you cannot do things that are of value, that are big. You're always going to live hand to mouth because money is not going to be enough. So I always encourage people to budget, to start having conversation with money. When you receive money, sit down, budget the money, and then spend. Come up with a budget, which is the spending plan. How are you going to allocate money? How are you going to spend the money? Then, if you do that, you will see improvement and changes in your life. You start achieving big things because you are able to save money and buy them. There are things that require a lot of money, and you do them, save the money over time. But the only way you can be able to save that money is when you budget every single cent you have and allocate to that saving. Then, when that saving is enough, you buy that big thing that you want. So, I'm going to look at some of the excuses that people always give to me why they don't want to budget, why they don't want to try it. But I always say, then what? If you don't try, then what? So, guys, I would like to go through some of these reasons, and you can see that they don't hold water, they're just excuses. So, one of the excuses that I get is that budgeting is too restrictive. Budgeting is too restrictive. Then I say, how is budgeting going to restrict you? Because with budgeting, you are going to allocate whatever you want, whether it's a luxury, whether it's something that is deemed by other people to be a waste of money. If you feel you need to do it, you're going to put it on your budget. But the reason why you're going to budget is that you're going to allocate your money. Every cent you won't wonder where it went, you will be able to know what you did with the money. So budgeting is not going to restrict you in any way. If you want to go to a spa, put that I'm going to go to a spa, get my massage, 1,000 rand or $1,000, whatever amount. I'm going to a holiday, I'm going to buy my Gucci bag, I'm going to buy my shoes with this money, I'm going to go on holiday, I'm going to do whatever. Put all those. It's not going to restrict you in any way. The only thing it's going to do is to show you what you've done with your money. So don't say I'm not going to budget because it's going to restrict me. No, it doesn't restrict you. You do whatever you put, whatever you feel you want to use your money. But the good thing is it's going to guide you to see if your money is going to be enough. If that saving you want to have is going to be enough if you do all those things as well. Another reason why people say they don't want to budget, they say I'm bad at calculations and spreadsheets. Guys, you don't need to be good at any spreadsheet or any calculations for you to do a budget. A budget is simple and straightforward. You can even do it manually. You do it on Excel if you want, if you can do Excel, because it's going to calculate for you. But if you are not good at that, you can still take your pen and paper, write down your income, write down your expenses, put the values, sum up everything with a calculator. That's all. Then you can see, are you spending more than you have or you're spending less? You alter your budget until it's where you want it to be. So there is no need for you to give that excuse of spreadsheets or calculation. It's so straightforward. Then there are some people who say, me, I cannot do budgeting. I'm so busy. I then say to you, there is not much time required for you to do a budget. Most of the times, our budgets are fixed. They're the same things over and over again. It's only here and there where you change things. So the only time you are going to sit and have more time is when you do it for the first time, when you are trying to put everything together. Afterwards, it's just to put the figures. That's it. And some of the figures remain the same. Let's say you have your bond, you have your rent, electricity, and whatever. You will know this is how much I'm using, this is whatever. So most of the time is the same thing. So you cannot be so busy that you say budgeting is going to take a lot of time. It's not. You need very little time. In the evenings or whatever, you can say on my weekends when I'm not going to work or whatever, I need 30 minutes to just do my budget, or an hour. That's the max you need once a month. And that's it. It doesn't need you to it doesn't need a lot of time from you. Other people, they also say, I'm not going to budget because my income is irregular. Then I come in to say, if your income is even irregular, even the most, you need budgeting. You are the person who needs budgeting the most, because your income is not guaranteed. So whenever you get your income, you need to sit down and say, okay, I've received this amount. It's enough for the 1 month thing. Why can I not pay in advance some of these expenses? Because my income is irregular. I'm not sure what's going to happen next month. Or I'm going to allocate this money. Whatever is left is going to be left in the account because of the next month obligations. But if you're not going to do that and your income is irregular, you are going to suffer even more, because you're going to use that money without any plan and it's finished. Next time there's no income coming and you have no money to spend. So you don't need to say that you only budget when you have regular income. If it's irregular, you don't need to budget. No. All your income that you receive, irregular, regular, sit down and budget. Then the others are saying, you know what, budgeting is boring. Yeah, I hear a lot of people saying budgeting is boring. Yes, people don't want to face money. People don't want to face the numbers. People don't want to see the reality. But you know what? It does good for you to do that, because you will know and you will improve. It's not boring. When you say it's boring, it's because you don't have a goal. When you have a goal in mind, to say, I want to save for a deposit for my car, or I want to save a deposit to start my business, I want to save this money for this thing, and you have that goal that is burning in you. When you have the goal that you really want to achieve, it doesn't become boring. You actually look forward to it, because you are going to see if that money is there, and you really want to make sure that you allocate for that. So it doesn't become boring. It's doing it the wrong way. When you do budgeting, when you start going into that mindset, you need to have a goal in mind. I have done some recordings prior. Look for my recordings, how you set your goals, how you set your budgeting goals. You need to have a goal, a burning goal, for you to understand budgeting even better. That it's so important for you to do it, because that's the only way you can achieve your goals that you have set. So it's not boring. It's boring when you have no goal. It's boring when you don't know the importance of doing it. But when you know the advantages, when you know how much your life is going to improve, it's not boring. It's a very exciting exercise. Yes, money issues are not nice. Money is not nice to look at, because obviously it stresses you, because it's not going to balance. But you have to put an effort to balance it out. That's the reason why you need to do that budgeting, so that you're trying to balance it out and still save. So it's not boring at all. Then there are some people who say, my finances are so messy, so why should I bother? I have so much messy in my finances. Then my question says, if it's so messy, so when will you start looking at it? Isn't it the right time to start putting things in order? Isn't it the right time to start making your finances be good and not remain messy? There is nothing that happens automatically on its own. You need to start somewhere and start doing something from where you are. So when your finances are messy, yes, they've been messy all this time and you have not been achieving any goals because they've been messy. But why don't you make a commitment to start putting the house in order today and start doing things with your finances and start achieving goals and start doing something that you can see at the end of the year, that you know what, I've done something tangible. This whole year I went, but I have managed to buy this. I've managed to do this. I've managed to study. I've managed to pay for this course that I wanted. That has added value to my life. There are so many goals that we have. But you are not going to achieve anything as long as you continue to say, it's a messy, it's a messy. It continues being a messy until you die. This is the time, the right time to put the messy in order and start doing it properly. So there is no time or no right time to say, now you know what, I can start budgeting because things are in order. You make them in order today and you start doing things correctly. Then some people, they will say, my money is not enough for a budget. Why should I bother? It's not enough. I cannot budget it. No matter what I try, it's not enough. Then I ask you, so when you are spending it without a budget, is it going to be enough? Are you not even going to be in more trouble than you could be if you try to budget it? Guys, budgeting is something that you need to make a lifestyle. You need to make it part of your life. Before I spend my money, let me sit down. Let me allocate it. So even though it's so little, I still need to know how I'm going to use it. What are the most important things in my life? You list them. What are luxuries in your life? You list them. What are needs? You list them. You start with your needs. You start with important things. Then you see what is left. That which is left, is it going to be enough for my luxuries? No. Why don't you leave those luxuries and focus on what is important? I always say there's no money that is not enough. It's enough at that stage you are, and you have to do what is in line with what you have. The reason why a lot of people end up being unable to cater for their lifestyle is because they want to live a lifestyle of someone else earning much more than what they are earning, instead of being guided by their income. To say, this is my income, so with my income, I need to eat meat twice a month, or I need to eat meat 3 times a month, and try to find something else to supplement my income so that I will be able to do what I want. This is the income that I earn, so it means my children's school fees should not be more than this. I'm going to put my children at this school where I pay so much because I cannot afford. I'm not going to live in a house which I need to pay so much because I cannot afford it. So I'm going to live within what I can afford. And then you live accordingly. But if you are saying, I have a little so I don't budget, I just spend, you are far worse off. You are better off with that little and you try to spend it in line with that little. And try to get more. Do other things that will give you more extra. Even that 100, even that 500, even whatever. It's something. But when you say it's not enough, so I'm not budgeting, I'm always saying to you, you are even going to make your life even worse and miserable. And you end up borrowing and you end up in debt month in, month out, because you are not living within what you can afford, because you don't do budgeting. Then other people, they say, me, I don't need to budget, I have enough. My money is enough, so I don't need to budget. Then I say you are the right candidate for budgeting, because if your money is already enough without a budget, one more if you budget, you'll be far, I tell you. You'll be far. You will ace those goals. You will do things that add value to you. You will do a lot because your money is enough. You have lots of money already. So if you start sitting down and allocating properly, you'll find that you have been wasting a lot of money, which you can use for other things that are of benefit to you. You can start saving for your children's education. You can increase your pension fund. You can increase your retirement annuity. You can do whatever. You can plan for your future. But if you say, I have enough, so I'm going to spend it willy-nilly, whatever way, as long as it's going to be enough for the month, I'm telling you, you are wasting opportunities for you to be better. You are wasting opportunities to save more and do more and be somebody at the end of the year, at the end of whatever period, because you have the money. Then the other people, they say, you know what, no matter what you do with budgeting, unexpected costs occur, so I am not going to waste my time. The unexpected costs that will come anyway. Yes, you are so right. Unexpected costs come, emergencies come, but that is life. You cannot predict life. You cannot predict when someone is going to die. You cannot predict when someone is going to be sick. You cannot predict when you are going to be in an accident. You cannot predict anything. That's why it's called an emergency. That's why it's also unexpected costs, because you can't plan for them, and that's life. But even though if they are unexpected costs, does that stop you from doing budgeting? Does it mean that every month you budget and unexpected happen? It doesn't necessarily mean that. You can have good months where you budget nicely and your budget follows nicely. But yes, there are unexpected expenses. But tell me something. Are you not better off when you have a budget or a saving on the side, that when that emergency happens, you are going to take from there and you are going to use it for the unexpected? Are you not better off than someone who, when an unexpected event occurs, they run to borrow money, and even people, they don't have the money that you need, and you are in an even worse scenario? Why don't you still budget? Don't worry about the unexpected, because that is beyond your control. Budget your money, do that every month, and live your life. The unexpected happens, that's it. You're going to see how you're going to do it. But it's better when you have a saving to take from the saving and cover for the unexpected. Even when you are budgeting, you say, okay, you know what, I have a car. Because I have a car, I need insurance in case something happens. So let me put some money towards my insurance, that if my car gets involved in an accident, at least I'm covered. Or I know that someone can be sick, let me do my medical aid. Or even if it's a hospital plan, let me put it so that if an emergency happens, someone is sick, I'm covered. Those things, you can only do them when you sit down and see your numbers and allocate them. So you cannot say, I'm not going to budget because of unexpected costs. Yes, unexpected happens. Whether you want it or not, whether you are clever or not, they happen. It's part of life. So that should not stop you from budgeting. Then the other people, they say, you know what, budgeting, it's so confusing. I'm not going to go there. It's so confusing. I don't know which budgeting you are talking about. Budgeting is straightforward. It's not confusing. Nothing at all. No complications. Put your income down. See your expenses. Add up your expenses. If it's more than what you are earning, trim down what you need to trim. Those which can be trimmed, trim them down. If you are spending more on food, go for the basics and trim out everything that is not part of the basics. If you are spending on going out on luxuries or whatever, trim them down and do what is required by your money. So it's not confusing. It's just your income, your expenses, and you see. If you are spending more than what you earn, then you are going to go back to the drawing board and trim it. That's it. No confusion on budgeting. So that is not an excuse. Budgeting is not confusing. It's straightforward. Then there are some people who say, budgeting does not work. I have tried it. It does not work. So I'm not going to do budgeting. It's a lie. It does work. Believe you me. That's one thing I can tell you, and I tell you again, budgeting does work. I know it very well. I know it. And I have people who I've taught about budgeting in one of my courses. I've taught them to budget and they started doing it very well religiously and they have achieved. So I can say budgeting works. It does work. You need to be committed to the process. You need to be committed to budgeting. Don't say I'm budgeting this month, next month I'm not, next month I'm doing this. Be committed. Be disciplined. Do it properly. Do your savings. And when you have done your savings, don't go back and take your savings again and use them. Only except when there is something unexpected and it's an emergency that requires you to do that. Otherwise, don't. Be so disciplined. You don't touch your money until you buy what you have said you want to buy, until you do what you said you want to do. So budgeting does work, guys. It does work. Just try it. Just try it. If you have any goals that you have, whether you want to study, whether you want to buy some equipment to start a business or to grow your business, whether you want to do anything for your kids, your investments or whatever, do it with budgeting. You won't go wrong. So it does work. Then the last one, which is similar to what I've said, that people are saying my money is enough. There are some people who also say, I'm already good with my money. Me, I'm good with my money, so I don't need to budget. I know exactly what to do with my money. Yes, you are good with your money, but put it down on a plan. Put it on a plan. If you are very good with your money, it means you are disciplined. Then if you have that discipline, you are even better off than anyone else because a lot of people fail to budget because of lack of discipline. So if you are good with money, you know how to save. You know how to do this and that. Do it now with the budget, with a plan. A budget is just a plan to write down what is going to happen with this money and this and what is going to be my saving. So if you are already good with your money, I'm telling you, you go very far. Once you start budgeting, you achieve so much because you already have the discipline. So I've covered 12 reasons why people say they don't want to budget. But I always tell you that when people give reasons, it's just an excuse. They don't want to just do something. But why dwell on excuses? Because you are going to hamper your growth. It's you who is going to do injustice to yourself. When you budget, when you try to budget, when you start budgeting, you'll see. Try it and you'll see. Try it. Budgeting is not complicated. Budgeting is not so confusing. Budgeting is straightforward. It's how you do it. Go look for my other videos. I speak about budgeting. I speak about money. I am an accountant, so I love to talk about money. And everything revolves around money. If you are good with your money, you do more. If you are good with allocating money, with budgeting, you do more. And that's a fact. You do much more when you budget, when you save money. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. And I hope you start doing your budget and you start achieving and acing those goals. Thank you and see you in the next videos.